top of our screen, mate. I'm not sure if you want to kick it off with Dan.
Sure. Dan, can you just tell us a little bit about the changing dynamic of the squad recently? Lots of guys coming in and out. How does that affect things since, England a month, 6 weeks ago to now?
Oh, it doesn't, to be honest. It's just we just get on with it. We've obviously dealt with changes pretty much each week through injury and whatnot. So the group come together on Sunday night and had a really good couple of days. Trained superbly this morning. Review was thorough and honest. But as you know, in terms of the feel of the group, I think everyone's just excited to get back out in the field and turn things around.
Is it easier to know how to prepare for us? Well, I'm sure you know what's coming with the Springboks. Does that make it easier to prepare or not?
Yes and no. There'll be no surprises. Well, yeah, I shouldn't say that. There may be one or two, but I think the big percentages are going to be around the set-piece battle, their kicking strategy, and our ability to diffuse it and potentially look for opportunity off the back of it. So it's they're very good at what they do. They won a World Cup off the back of it, but as we've shown in the past, when we get our game right, we can trouble them.
And when in the contact area, the collision area, the breakdown battle will be very important. But having Laurie Fisher come in, I'm sure, you can't necessarily change things in a day, but having a man of his pedigree come in must be a great thing. And also from a personal perspective, you knowing him so well, I'm sure you've got some things to say about that as well.
We've worked together for the best part of a decade, to be honest. So we know each other's styles and how we work very, very well. We work well together. He's just come in to do his job well and find his feet. Like no different to a new player, to be honest. But one thing with Laurie, off the back of his experience and his knowledge and years of coaching, he doesn't come in and dip his toe in. He comes in, he's very clear with what he wants, and the players understand that, which is most important. So there'll be real clarity around what his expectations are from a defensive point of view this week.
Just on the Springboks, I mean, they named their side last night, and it might sound like a very simple question, but knowing their side this early out as opposed to what's usually a kind of a Thursday or Friday taking place, as a coach, does that help the planning process, or was there kind of no real surprises, so there's no real gains from it?
Oh, it helps to a certain extent. They've got two good young halfbacks who kick the ball a lot, and one's a left footer and one's a right footer. So we now know that de Klerk starts. So things like that, help to a certain extent. But in terms of just individuals within who's wearing what jersey and that sort of thing, it doesn't change a whole lot. It's more just around the skill set of an individual player, I suppose. And as I said, that's an example of where it might help. But overall, I think we're going to just worry about focusing on getting our own performance right before we stress too much about the Springboks.
I guess turn the focus to that. Coming out of that Argentina tour, you've had a fair amount of time to reflect. I mean, from a forward's perspective, what's kind of the key things that kind of let you down, particularly in that second test where they ran away with it?
Look, it was we took significant steps forward in the first test, and it was probably our best performance as a pack. Then had some late changes, and we just hurt ourselves at key times. There was a line-out turnover at a critical moment that hurt us. But the reality is we didn't win the collisions. We didn't have a thirst to want to win the collisions, and you won't win any game of rugby without that desire and intent. And that's across all areas, whether it's in and around the tackle area, all defence, scrum time, whatever it was. So we were disappointed and pretty filthy about how we performed in San Juan, and know that if we toss that up again, then we'll be disappointed again next on Saturday afternoon in Adelaide. So we've got to make sure that we change that.
So we've had Al in here earlier, and he kind of said there was a noticeable edge to this morning's trainings as they sort of come back. From a coaching perspective, do you kind of echo that statement?
100%. No, they've had an edge about them even yesterday. Yesterday was our install day, and it's jog through pace really. But you could tell we were holding them back. They were keen to get out there and get stuck in and right some wrongs. And so we've had a good start to our preparation, and that's got to continue throughout the course of the week to ensure we earn some respect on Saturday afternoon.
Dan, what are some of the lessons that you've been able to draw upon from your time in the Brumbies and early in your career to help the team get through this period?
You got to stick tight. Players have got to stick tight. Coaches have got to stick tight, and as a group, you've got to stick tight. It's test footy. Like it's hard. It's not easy. Professional sport, professional rugby is not easy. So you're always going to have these periods, but you've got two choices. You can bitch and moan about it and point the finger and blame others, or you stick tight and stick together and understand that, take on board feedback, have a little adjustment around some effort areas and some attitudinal areas, and you can turn things around very quickly. So that's the learnings I've certainly experienced back to back. Losses, or not that we've had back-to-back this time, but where we've had a couple of losses over the course of a period of time. So it's stick tight and continue to work hard and believe in the vision, and you'll get through it.
How much harder is Test rugby compared to Super Rugby?
Well, look, from a playing perspective, there's no doubt the physicality and the brutality is certainly higher. And coaching wise, look, I think there's a whole lot more eyes on you. There's a whole lot more pressure that comes when you lose a Test match for Australia. You feel like you've let the nation down and the rugby community down. So it's certainly been a long couple of weeks since our last game, and I speak for all players and staff that they really feel that, and as I said, we're determined to change that.
And with Noah, you obviously know him quite well from your time at the Brumbies. What have you made of the way he's sort of held himself and got through the last little period?
He's been good. He's trained well whilst he hasn't been in the side, and he was close to playing in Argentina, but that's it's obviously a position where it hasn't been nailed yet by an individual or own. So he gets his chance this week. He's got Whitey on his inside, who he knows very well. They've got a very good combination. They've played a lot of footy together there, so there should be really good cohesion. Now he's just got to go about doing his job within our plan.
He's obviously, I guess, learned a fair bit. Do you feel he's ready to make that step and make that 10 jersey his own?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think my advice there is he doesn't need to go out there and think he needs to be the best player on the field and be man of the match. He's just got to do the basics well, and direct us around the park and manage the game well. Understand when we've got momentum, understand when we don't have momentum, and how we handle that. Playing the game in the right areas of the field, and that's what his job is. And if he does that and kicks his goals and he's really solid, then that's a tick in the box for him. So I don't think it's about him going out there thinking he's got to create a whole lot of opportunity for others. It's just be solid about doing his role well.
And just lastly from me, how will Billy Pollard benefit from that little taste of Test rugby that he had a couple of weeks ago?
He's got a taste, hasn't he? It was probably ahead of what he was thinking. Through injuries, provide that opportunity. He's got a taste of what this environment's about now, so he can use that as motivation to go away and work hard with the Brumbies and try and get himself back in here as quickly as possible. I don't think there's any doubt he's got the talent and the potential to play a lot of Test footy down the track, but he understands that his development path continues, and how hard he works will determine how quickly he's back in here.